So in the summer of 2020, Mia Wright was attacked along with 4 other people in her car in Chicago by a gang of Chicago police officers. This is at the Brickyard Mall. And this is during the summer of racial injustice protests and some riots that broke out. Now, after they attacked her, which you'll see in this video, she's up to potentially receive about $1.7 million spread out amongst other folks from this particular thing. So let's watch what they did to Mia Wright.
It's an old ass woman. Stop. Stop, wait, hold on.
So what was this all about? So this is in 2020, as I mentioned, the summer of 2020. Wright and family members said that they were trying to visit the Brickyard Mall in late May, but they said they arrived to discover that the northwest side of the mall was closed because of the civil unrest that occurred across the city in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd. Police officers suddenly surrounded the car, as you saw there, broke the windows and pulled Wright out of the vehicle. She was in the front passenger seat, by the way, by her hair. While Wright was thrown on the ground, an officer placed his knee on her neck, is what she said. And Wright was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, though the charge was later dropped. So here's that moment again, because I zoomed in on as they snatched her out of the car and then dropped a knee on her neck and back. Let's watch that really fast.
Woman! Stop.
So there that was, because again, right after this unrest in the country over the way that Derek Chauvin did that to George Floyd, let's just do it again and just snatch people out of cars. Now, more background for this, because the officers had been staking out the mall on that day of looting across Chicago, and the 5 were targeted as suspects, the 5 folks in that car. Officers said that they thought some members of Wright's group were attempting to break into a store at the mall to steal goods from their car. And city lawyer Carolyn Franzak said, but the officers also acknowledged that nobody in the group matched the descriptions of the suspected looters. It's crazy how that works. And also, Wright claims that the violent actions by police on May 31st left her blind in her right eye, and it potentially ended her dream of becoming a paramedic. So that's part of this whole settlement. So first, let's get to what happened there, because that did happen a couple years ago. But then the settlement is what's really been the thing that's fired everyone up now recently. What's going on, Jackson? What do you think of this?
So yeah, in terms of the settlement, one of the excuses on why they don't want to pay the money out is because they think that it will become an excuse for people to sue police departments. Right. In other words, it'll be an excuse for people to believe they can hold us to account. And just looking at that video, the swarm of police around the car, they clearly can see that there's women in there. So from the beginning, it was completely unnecessary. The anger, the energy, and the violent intent behind it. They threw her onto the ground and then got on top. If you were really concerned about securing a situation and you could see in the car and there's all those police with you, maybe don't go to the car with but 1 or 2 police and say, ma'am, talk to them and see what they're doing, if anything. But, it's just this stuff happens, frequently, which is why the movements are going on around the country that are going on. But,
and these things happen so frequently. That's why these kinds of settlements keep coming out. And this is because of what you mentioned from some of those aldermen that were discussing, because they went through the first wave of whether or not they're going to vote to approve this. So Alderman Raymond Lopez said in opposing the settlement that the city will be opening a Pandora's box by settling the lawsuit and would give everyone an excuse to start suing. Paying Wright and her relatives would open the door to many other lawsuits from people who, quote, were trying to loot, pillage, and destroy the city of Chicago during the Floyd protests, which sounds like this guy thinks that it was justified, does think they were there to loot and pillage and destroy the mall, and that they should have been snatched around. She should have been blinded in her right eye and all that should have happened. So why would we be giving $1.7 million? It's gonna open the Pandora's box. We've already opened the Pandora's box with cops that think they can do this and get away with it over and over and over again, while taxpayers pay $1.7 million. More, there was another one that was against this. Alderman Nick Sposato, he wondered why Wright, who he said lived on the west side, North Lawndale neighborhood, drove to the Northwest Side Mall to shop on a day when Chicago was experiencing extensive, well-publicized public disturbances following the Floyd murder. Sposato's comments prompted Alderman Jason Irvin to ask, what's wrong with somebody who lives at Pulaski and Cernak coming to the Brickyard to shop? I think we know what that means, Jackson. That means they shouldn't have been in that damn neighborhood because those folks don't live here. They're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much.
It's the same narrative.
Yeah, pretty much. If they, just didn't go about their daily lives, then this wouldn't have happened to them, pretty much. So anything but accountability, anything but, and again, you look at it, no one with any type of moral compass would look at that video and be like, that was totally necessary. Like, come on, man.
Or then when people have to pay for it then afterwards. Again, everyone has been pulled over, as a black person, been pulled over in the wrong neighborhood because it happened to me in Beverly Hills, happened to me on the west side, in St. Louis countless times. And it's, what are you doing here? Where are you going? First, that's before license and registration, by the way.
Yep.